All right, this is a little woodworking project that the boys are working on. We went out last year and got the lumber. Trees had been damaged by the ice storm, so we went out and cut down some cedar trees. And these cedar trees had the tops ripped out of them, so we cut these logs down into about 3.5 foot sections, probably close to 40 inches long or so. And then we brought those logs back to our ranger building, and then we cut them with a chainsaw and got them down to a distance of that would fit underneath the bandsaw, and then we resawed them. And this was cut off by the chainsaw, and this was hit with the resaw blade on the bandsaw. So we basically then took all that lumber and we stickered it over here in the corner with some 1x, just some 8-foot 1x1x2s like this. We put 3 of them down on the ground, then we laid the boards across it, then we stickered it some more, and we just kept doing that until we had all of our boards laid out. And they sat over here in this corner for about a year and a half while we were working on other projects. And the wood that you see here is leftover wood. Some of it is, we had some cold stuff that's down in here for just special projects. And then we have some wood that we picked out. But basically the boys come out here and we took all this lumber and we laid it across about 4 or 5 tables, and we graded it, and then we put it by thickness, where the boards are by thickness. And then after that I had the boys go and pick 4 or 5 boards from an area that was about the same thickness, and then we glued those together to form a board that was about 12 inches wide by 26 inches long. And those boards came out about yay wide right here, and then we planted them and got them down to about a 1/2 inch. Now the boys had to come out here and pick out their 4 boards. We put a straight edge on it, and they had to draw a straight edge from point A to point B, and then we cut that on the bandsaw, then we jointed it, and then we glued these boards together. And this is very much like what they looked like whenever we got them. We basically just straight lined them, and just kind of some rough old lumber, like this one right here, and then we would get them straight, get a good glue joint, and we would glue 2 of them together. And if we needed a wider board, this next project that we're building is some lanterns. We won't need that wide of pieces, but that made a nice board. So then we ran all these boards through the planer, and the boys put their names on them. They picked them out, and they came out real nice. And then after that, we printed out some stickum layout templates about like this right here. These are all just printed off of a PDF file, and then they were cut out roughly with scissors, not on the marks themselves, but around. And then we put contacts in on there, and then we just glued them on the board. And then we took this piece of board and went over to the bandsaw, and then we just cut our sections out and got them down to a workable size where they could work on them. And then after they got that point, then they started concentrating on cutting out the blocks from the template. And so that's kind of where they're at now. This is like the second night that they're cutting, so most of the time was spent in prepping the wood and getting it ready to go. And then now they're to that point to where they're cutting them out and gluing it up. Now I had a little time through the week to work on a box, and this is it here. It's got 1 coat of lacquer on it, and I just sprayed that on there so it's a little bit wet. And this is the box that we made a couple years ago, and this was a prototype box, so it got all of the early stuff to it. And but cedar really comes out really nice, and it makes a beautiful looking little box. The thing about this box is you pull that little keyhole right there, and that causes your box to open up, or to be able to be opened up. That slides over like that, and then this slides back like that. It opens up like that, and then you have the inside of the box where you can put your little treasures in like that. Now this box, being a prototype, I didn't spend much time making it perfect or getting it to where it was, really nice. The next box that I'm working on, I'm probably we'll finish these other pieces. And but we gave these out to the moms last year or 3 years ago. And as you can see, it makes a pretty neat looking little box. And it's, I just machine sanded it, and this is called a unibox. Cedar makes a very good little wood for that. And I made one out of plywood, and when I was printing the original, you can see that this box is a little bit bigger than that, and that was to fill the page, and this is the actual size of the paper. So it's kind of fun to make things. And then the printout is pretty nice. It gives you a good layout. Whoever come up with these plans, they made it really super easy for us, and you can get these off the web. And I think it's by Make Magazine that he came out with this one. Now I think our cedar boxes are prettier than these are, but hey, it's all good. And this is a great project for Rural Rangers, just Boy Scouts, scouting type group. And they don't have to know a whole lot to get one of these projects done. They just basically, you just lead them, and pretty soon they're knocking it out. So before too long, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 uniboxes made out, and along that lines. And some of the tools that we required through the process is really a blessing to be working with. And there's a paint booth, which is sucking the bad air out to the other room. And then this is our work area, and works out really nice.